Hi there. Welcome to this episode focusing on abuse of power and corruption in An Inspector Calls. Let's have a look, firstly, at the opening act of the play, which sets up the Burlings as wealthy, powerful characters. They feel their social class and position are of vital importance. Inspector Gould's arrival is at the beginning of the play, where the family are enjoying an elaborate meal in opulent, meaning expensive and luxurious surroundings, with servants attending them. They are fortunate people enjoying their affluent lives. Inspector Gould arrives, and his presence goes on to show that all of the Burling family and Gerald have used their power in immoral ways. Every one of them uses their power negatively to remove power from a lower-class girl who already had very little power to begin with. Mr. and Mrs. Burling use their power to remove power from Eva Smith. Mr. Burling, as the boss of the company, used his power to get rid of Eva and led the workers in their fight for a pay rise. Mrs. Burling, as a leading person in the Bromley Women's Charity Organisation, she denied Eva any financial help when she came to her. Sheila then removed Eva's power because she was in a bad mood, used her family status and power to have Eva fired from Millwoods. Eric used his physical and emotional power to force his way into Eva's lodgings where she was staying and threatened to cause a scene which would lessen Eva's social power even more. And Gerald used his social status and money to manipulate Eva into being his mistress. So let's quickly recap that. What's Inspector Gould's purpose in the play? Is it to show the Burlings and Gerald that Eva Smith abused their powers? To show that all of the Burling family and Gerald have used their power in immoral ways? Or is it to show that the Burlings and Gerald how they've used their power for the good of society? The correct answer is to show that all of the Burling family and Gerald have used their power in immoral ways. And all of the characters have different ways that they abuse their power. For example, Mrs. Burling denies Eva financial help, Gerald uses his social status and money to manipulate Eva into being his mistress, Eric uses physical and emotional power to force his way into her lodgings, Sheila uses her family status to get Eva fired from Millwoods, and Mr. Burling fires Eva. Now let's have a look at a new topic, which is the abuse of power and corruption. How does briefly explore this within An Inspector Calls? Well, some of the characters highlight societal corruption, which is dishonest or morally wrong behaviour. The older Burlings refuse to accept any responsibility for their actions and how they might affect the lower class people. Gerald and the Burlings show that higher class, wealthy people control society with their money and power. They can destroy the lives of the lower classes on a whim because of a sudden decision, and never think about them again. The author uses Inspector Gould to highlight these attitudes and to show that many higher class people don't even think that their abuse of power is immoral or selfish. They feel that they deserve their wealth and power, and that those of the lower classes deserve to be less fortunate. There is also conflict over corruption. Throughout the play, the characters see the effects of them abusing their power. Sheila and Eric become more and more ashamed of themselves and of their parents' reactions. Their attitudes of their own corruption causes a conflict in the family. Mr. and Mrs. Burling refuse to accept responsibility for their actions, which then causes a rift between them and their children. And a rift is a break in friendly relations. So, quickly recapping that, how do different characters in the family react to and conflict to the abuse of power? Sheila and Eric become more ashamed of themselves and their parents' reactions, but Mr. and Mrs. Burling refuse to accept any responsibility for their actions. What is the purpose of Inspector Gould? Is it to show that many higher class people don't even think that their abuse of power is immoral or selfish? Is it to show that the police force is corrupt? Or is it to show that higher class people always accept responsibility for mistreating lower class people? The correct answer is, his purpose is to show that many higher class people don't even think that their abuse of power is immoral or selfish.